This is a two-parter. His host, Steve, comes to us from Sam Lee, but he also threw in some titles, which actually some of these are pretty funny. Hey, what's up, Aries Soprano and Andy Hoffa? I got a few titles for y'all to make you guys' day. Jiggling All the Way. Remember Schwarzenegger?
Yeah.
Jingle All the Way. Back Shots to the Future.
I like Back Shots.
Back Shots to the Future.
Good. That one's a good one.
The from Eastdick.
It's all right.
Which is from Eastwood.
Look, yeah.
I like this one. Depth Impact.
That's good, too.
In fact, Fantastic Foursome.
That's good.
Yeah.
I don't know why anybody else hasn't come up with Fantastic. That one seems there, but...
Yeah, you get from the Invisible Girl, and you can't see her. Of course, The Rock's The Things is, ribbed like his whole body. The Human Torch gives burns, and Mr. Fantastic can stretch, so you know where that goes.
Yeah, it's just funny though. If you got from an Invisible Girl, you'd just be sitting there and you could be straight out.
Yeah,
and just be moving a little bit.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden,
you shoot.
But it would just kind of go in and then kind of curl around and down.
With the
yeah, she swallowed.
Well, you put some thought into that. Weird experience from the movie Weird Science. The movie is about two teen nerds, Gary and Wyatt, design their own ideal woman from a computer, and an accident happened during the process, causing her to come to life. When she appeared naked, the teens noticed she has a magnificent body, but noticed she has a dick too. Gary asks Wyatt, "What are we going to name it?" Both of them look at each other and say, "Oh, Steve."
Spears and Steinberg. You know what the it is? Aries and Andy, Jew and the Jerk. You know it's time to get this work. The real raw, gutter, uncut, cold. No political corrections. Always sleep. Being awoke. We discuss politics and jokes. Scribe, we lit. There's levels to this before you was on your mama. Aries Spears don't give a fuck. We talk about race a lot, racism. Much love to my loyal bag holders, rollers, loaders. We got them in the folders. The whole world on our shoulders. Spears and Steinberg. Yeah.
My first attempt, hopefully it made you guys chuckle at least. LOL, the one and only podcast I listen to. Peace, y'all. Sam, man, you did good, brother. From the porn titles to the Oh Steve, you did well, brother.
Real well. And Steve, you're not forgotten. Everybody loves you. Everybody remembers you, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. What a great movie, Weird Science.
That was great. But what happened?
That motherfucker talking about the telephone.
What happened to the other dude though? Not
Anthony Michael, but the other guy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was he just kind of disappeared after that, didn't he?
A little bit. That's one of those where if they remake that, they probably would f that up. Weird Science.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's such an '80s movie. It's
a great '80s movie.
Yeah, but it's such an '80s movie.
Yeah, it is.
So '80s. You couldn't. I don't think people would accept it just to be. Just the scene where they have the bra on their heads that they're waiting. It's just
right.
Like if you saw that, if a new movie had that, you'd be like, that's dumb.
Yeah, and then the house party that's goes insane.
Yeah.
Okay, this is from Telston06@yahoo.com. The title is "Go F Yourself, Mark." What's up, fellas? First time emailer. I ain't got to tell you, Steve.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Been listening since the first season. Props to the constant evaluation of the show. I think he meant to say evolution. He wrote evaluation, but
evolution.
He meant to say evolution. Wish you guys would do more eps discussing movies and TV shows like you used. He put like you used and then period. Yeah, instead of saying go f yourself, Mark, concentrate on your email, brother.
Got that spelled right.
I know. Got that spelled right. I know you talk about docs, but let's get back to the shows and movies. Have you heard about the spinoff of Snowfall starring the chick who played Wanda and Leon? Apparently, it will pick up after Snowfall ended and follow the two characters as LA hip-hop begins. You should check out Reacher on Prime, Goliath and Landman on Prime starring Billy Bob Thornton, Lincoln Lawyer on Netflix. Suggested movies: Craven on Netflix, Dead of Thieves 2, which I just downloaded on Netflix, Speak No Evil with James McAvoy, Blink Twice with Channing Tatum, 1992 with Tyrese and Ray Liotta. Anyway, appreciate the read. Oh, yeah, Andy, you can go yourself too. Till next time, your boy Terrence from the ATL. Why did Andy catch some heat at the end?
Hey, who knows? I'm happy to be included.
Yeah, why you say Mark? What did Mark do?
Hey, though, his movies, a lot of them are pretty good. Like, I know, but do you watch Billy Bob
Thornton?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll watch him if it's worth watching, if it's watchable. I love them in Bad Santa. The
Bad Santa
movies,
was great, but I don't.
I'm on my lunch break.
I don't know. There's something about it. I'm not saying that he's not a good actor. I just don't rush to like something that he's in.
Yeah.
Yeah. It took me a minute to see Bad Santa. People had to tell me how
That
good
was
it was.
so good.
Yeah.
Especially that first one. Curtis Singleton. Thanks. Yo, A&A, first of all, I want to say to Andy, my condolences on your recent loss. Glad to hear you at least got to get your affairs in order beforehand. Now, off of the morbid ask and you shall receive. I appreciate you guys doing a whole podcast on one of the greatest pieces of cinema, Point Break. Even more so, Aries, you enjoying it and Andy not having to strap you to a chair and pry your eyes open to make you watch. Now, Aries, check out 300 and on your way, and you on your way. Fellas, keep bringing the uncut product. There's a reason why this is my favorite podcast, Cocaine Kurt.
Now, thank you for the condolence. Appreciate that. 300, dude. I'm telling you, you're gonna really like that.
You've
movie.
never seen 300?
You're really gonna like it.
How'd you miss that?
Because I wasn't in a rush to see a bunch of abbed up, oily men.
And that's there is a group of people
Like
that didn't
that.
want that movie for that reason. But the movie itself, when you're talking about a man food movie, it fills the bill, man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you're gonna like it. But what's funny is the first time I watched it, because I heard all the hype about it being like this, like it was like it was like the gay culture was like all about this movie, and I'm watching it, I was like, I was waiting for some gay moments for myself, like
Right.
am I attracted? Is this?
And it wasn't?
No, because it's such a battle,
It's like a comic
brutal
book.
movie. Yeah,
And that's a movie.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
over a battle.
When you watched it, were you dressed?
Half of it.
I did watch it with the girl though, just to make sure everything was good.
Oh, okay. MNE 5020. Thin Crust Pizza. Hey, Big Daddy and Uncle Andy. It's been a while since I've written in. Life has been doing its thing. Also, I've been behind, so I'm currently catching up. Let me first say I apologize for my malarkey at the Philly Helium show. Is this chick?
Malarkey at the Philly.
I was excited and nervous to meet you both, but Aries, you killed me when you called me Thin Crust Pizza. Genius. I don't even remember that. Even though I think you charge me this is annoying fee. Yeah, this is her. When I purchased your merch, Uncle Andy, it was a pleasure to see you and actually have dialogue. You are really an interesting person, but I do have 2 questions for you. Since I don't think some of the listeners are asking the right questions, what do you think about all the executive orders Trump is signing, specifically dismantling the Department of Education, and how it could eventually affect low-income areas in America? Also, how do you feel about all those folks who are losing their jobs that they have been at for years? I have more questions, but as I catch up, I'm looking forward to your answers. Much love to both of you. Formerly known as a hopeful badge holder from Philly, now Thin Crust Pizza.
Are you making any comments on the hopeful big badge holder, or?
I mean, she's got to go through, Shamar. She's got to go through the process.
Will her badge be made out of a thin crust pizza? It's a pepperoni.
I'll beef her up to stuffed crust or a deep dish.
To answer your questions on executive orders, it's the right way to make an immediate effect. It's not the right way to govern. Laws they need to go through Congress. That's what I feel. I know you asked me because people assume that I'm a big Trump fan. I'm not a fan. I just didn't like what was happening on the other side. That's that. So now let's get to your question since I laid that out. Dismantling the Department of Education. I'm all for that. I'm all for it because there's a plan behind it. What people don't know, everything gets picked up on the federal side that needs to be done. School lunches wasn't even handled by the Department of Education, so that part is already going to be handled, and then everything moves into the other departments that needs to be there. I forgot, they said something around over $15 billion, and they don't educate anyone. There's no education that comes from it. It's just a massive bureaucratic department. I like it going back to the states. I like states running the education department before the federal Department of Education was done by Jimmy Carter. Our test scores were higher. Everything was higher. It was a better system. Right now, we have teachers that are asking parents to donate money so that they can have paper. If they're spending this much money on the Department of Education, why are the teachers asking the parents of the children to bring in paper and glue so that they can have it in their classrooms? I hope that it makes a difference. I just know that the system's broken, and sometimes if it's, I've said this before.
So let's bring it some more. Let's burn that motherfucker to the ground.
That's exactly what they say. Like if you're in your car and if it ain't broke, they say don't fix it. But if it's not working and you can't figure out what's wrong, break that because that's the way you can build it back up and you can fix it. So that's what I want them to get rid of. The one thing, and I had it in a note to ask you about, and I didn't know if you would even want to talk about it, but the USPS get rid of our mail system. I'm definitely for that to privatize it, to be purchased and privatized. I don't need mail. I don't know. The only thing I think we do with mail now is companies get to send us magazine what are they called? Catalogs and flyers, so we can buy. That I don't know what else comes in the mail. Sometimes bills come in the mail, but you can do that all online.
Comes in the mail. I'm sure there's some things we can't think about or aren't thinking about that are.
But they couldn't be done through a private entity that was managed that had certain like parameters like gas and electric have.
I just don't feel like the UPS does
not
that terrible of a job. USPS, whatever.
It loses money, billions of dollars every year.
Because it's a service that they provide.
A service.
Why should it make money?
Wait. It's the service they provide, but who uses the service predominantly?
You got me on that one.
Business.
Okay.
That's how you get your bills. They're sending.
You can shove into a $15 box as much shit as you can and send it for $15. It's pretty awesome.
That is pretty awesome. That's not the bulk of the mail. The bulk of the mail is companies sending you bills and sending you catalogs. What is one of the things? And this is good for you. What is one of the things that, as this progressive person, should we be cutting down trees to send catalogs to people that they don't even want that end up in the garbage?
I'm not arguing for catalogs and shit like that.
But I'm just saying.
But do you think Republicans really give a shit?
I don't. Do
you think this is really to benefit the people?
Did I say Republicans? I didn't say.
But that's what's going to happen.
No.
So it's we cut the Department of Education. Fine. I don't know. I don't know enough about what they do. I'm sure there's some good things we both agree on that they do.
That would be moved over to other departments, but go on.
But then just to give some money, what do you think Republican states are going to do?
What are you talking about?
They're just going to take that money.
They're
going to get it, and then they're going to find a way to take it
once it's earmarked,
and spend it on some other shit.
When it's earmarked for education, it has to go to education.
Wasn't the shit earmarked in Arizona a couple of years ago? And then
that wasn't the shit in Arizona earmarked.
Took the money from the education.
As soon as you can tell me what you try to say, I'll try to see if I know what you're talking about.
I'm not an encyclopedia.
Well,
then
don't say it. Then don't say it. You live there.
Point is, there's a difference between red states and blue states in their education, right?
There's a difference between red states and blue. No, not really. The reason I'm going to say this, not really.
There's not a top 5 and a bottom 5?
No, because states switch back and forth. I don't know which state you're talking about, but I don't. And I just want
You're right.
I know you don't have to be right, but I just don't think that we need to keep financing the mail.
I think you really want to know Aries' opinion on this one.
He doesn't have an opinion whatsoever. He can give them. Where do you want your bills from?
My accountant takes care of that.
So they say, yeah.
Phone bill about 2 G's flat. Don't need to worry. My accountant has to do that.
AB. Condolences and a quick check-in.
Thank you.
Good morning. I am currently listening to today's episode. I wanted to express my condolences to you and your family on the loss of your uncle. I am glad that you listened to your intuition. You are absolutely correct about following it no matter what. I hope that your mother is feeling better. Thanks for sharing with us. I hope everything goes smoothly with the services. It's never an easy process, planning and going through the process of a funeral. I'm here and always listening. Take care, Miss A.B.
Thank you. But my uncle did have his like he knew he was going. Once he knew and took care of some medical things that he had to take care of, got all his burial stuff done. Everything was handled. Everything was I don't want to say easy, but it was as easy as it can be. It was all handled. It was all he did.
People don't do that. They're pieces of shit.
He had it down, man. There was nothing for anybody to do. It just happened. There's a lot of people that went into doing the work to make sure that it happened, and people that were close to him to take care of it. But he had it laid out. So it was. Thank you for your condolence.
James Miller, Mark, Patrice, Andy. What up, Jerk and Two Jews? Been listening religiously and chimed in a couple times with an email, but it's been a minute. I just wanted to speak on the Mark being gay comments. I too thought he was gay. Even more so, I thought he was a very specific kind of gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that. That's a line from Seinfeld. I'm sure Andy will remember. And yes, I'm black. He sounds like a black tranny. Think about it. And imagine my shock when I discovered he was a straight Jew. And Mark, I would have still with you even if you weren't a black tranny, by the way. No diddy. I don't watch, listen. I don't watch, I listen. So when I decided to actually check out some of the vids, my mind was blown. On another note, thanks for adding the Patrice laugh at the end of the pod. It gets me every time, and I just start laughing along with him. Rest in peace. Also, Andy, I rocked with you from day one. Got love for you, man. But I have to admit, I was pissed when you said you voted for Trump. I get the whole policy thing, but I really think he has no love for people my complexion at all. And if you don't believe or see that, I can't understand how you don't. He wouldn't piss on me if I was on fire, so that's why I can't fuck with him. Well, to his defense, he wouldn't piss on you unless you were a Russian woman. I'm disappointed in you, but I still f with you, GTA. Even though you think it's okay to vote for a racist, you're still a funny. Longest email I ever sent. Apologies. Just wanted to share these thoughts. Keep the coke pure and uncut. Peace, Jigsaw.
First of all, and I just want to go back to Mark, you're so misty that it goes through the airwaves.
I like how he said if I was still a black tranny, he'd still fuck with me.
But that was so funny. Listen, on the Trump policy, man, I understand it, and people have said this to me, but you know, it's racist. I gotta be honest, man. Name the presidents that aren't racist. Policy gets determined and changes get made. Hopefully life gets better, but the other side was I felt like the other side was gonna kill us. That's it. That's all it is to it. And if it would have been someone else running, it could have been a completely different thing. That was I honestly believe this, and people don't want to hear me. Mark's gonna disagree with me, and I'm okay with that.
You think the other side was gonna kill you? No,
I thought it was gonna kill. Like, here. Let me say this the whole way out. If Biden wasn't running the country because he was in a lapse, he wasn't mentally aware as he should have been, and they denied it. Someone else was running the country. She was campaigning. Who put her in there? The people who were running the country. And the people who were running the country were going to install someone so that they could run the country. I'm not saying the face is always the person that runs the country, because they have other people that are in their cabinet that are influential and do things. But it's really weird how no one wanted to call out that Biden wasn't really able to run the country. And but they were able to come up with someone out of nowhere. She was the one. And she was the weakest one. Let's be honest. She was the weakest one. She was the one who dropped out of the race before.
But I think it was I think it was Biden's fault for not dropping out. But
I agree
think
with you 100%.
Nobody wanted to run against her, and she had the money.
I agree with you that it's Biden's fault
So
for not
there's a
dropping out.
reason why.
But why wasn't he called out before? Because the people who were running it liked him being not 100%.
I know.
And
But,
so that's a problem. And inserting her in.
but the other side's a lot more culty. Remember when they threw one dude under the bus from SNL for the picture of grabbing the girl's tits? And they're like, oh, that's terrible. Remember?
That was a Democrat.
Yeah, exactly.
The Democrats
They-
threw him under the belt.
They go, oh, you can't do that.
The Democrats threw him
Trump
under
can
the
do
bus.
anything. They could fucking hate him. They're not going to talk bad about
That
him.
was ridiculous that they did that. And
I
do you know
agree.
who it was?
But it shows you it's not a cult.
That's years ago. I'm talking about
years
right
ago.
now that's happening.
Okay.
So I couldn't trust it. That's it. That's the bottom line. I didn't trust it. Don't make me have to trust it because you do. I didn't trust it.
Public Enemy song. Can't trust it. Dun, dun, dun. Can't trust it. I think so.
I don't know.
I know I've heard that from Public Enemy. So what kind of gay are you, Mark?
Yeah, I don't know. I was like, is
Misty.
the black training? Is that the
It
specific
has to be
gay?
very misty, very small to get through the airwaves that way.
Sophisticated gay.
Frank Williams. Mark is all right with me. What's up, fellas? Looks like my last email got lost in the vortex, so let's try again. LOL. Real quick, Mark, can you shoot out your social so I can follow you? And shout out to my guy, the Scroll Master, Dewan Curse. We're going to cross paths in the future. Here is my email. What's up, A&A? I'm loving the new addition to the show. Mark is hilarious to me. Did I read this part before? When I first heard him, my initial thought was that Steve is bringing his partner, gay boyfriend, to work. No, I didn't. LOL. What's happening?
I'll turn it down. I'm pulling up your song that you just said. You're right.
God, it is. Can't trust
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Boyfriend to work. LOL. Just joking, but in all seriousness, I thought Mark was gay, but no, he just has a lisp. LOL. The yayo that you guys are bringing me every week is never stepped on, but I do have a question. What did you think of the small gift bags I gave y'all? Did you ever get Jimmy John's?
We did talk about this because I thanked him for it. Yeah, because I thanked him for it.
Shit, I'm
And
okay.
I used it when I forgot where we were, maybe in Indianapolis. I don't know, but
Can't trust it.
they're gonna demonetize us for that, so I'm gonna take that down.
Oh, Darren Williams, best chicken. Yo, what up, guys? The best chicken places in order. One, Church's Chicken. There are none in Ohio. Did I read this too? It's short, but there are none in Ohio. And I have to eat when I go to Bama, but they are top tier. Popeye, I think I read
Yeah, you
this
read
here.
that one.
God damn it. I thought I deleted
Got
it.
an
but apparently
encore.
I didn't, yeah. All right, Jose Gardia. Episode 660. Hey, Aries, what's going on, my guy? Just wanted to chime in on the email you got about college basketball. Whoever that guy was is exactly right. Cooper Flagg is a stud, and he's going to kill it in the NBA. By the way, today is the Sweet 16, and the U of A is actually going up against Duke. Duke is the heavy favorite, but it's March Madness, and anything can happen. I'm from Phoenix, so I love U of A, and I know Andy is a fan. Will you be watching, Andy? If you do, you should bring Aries along to watch so he can see the intensity and the heart these kids play with. My guy Aries doesn't know what he's missing. I really think you haven't even watched it, so just say you're not interested. But give this game a chance, and you're going to see how great the college game is. And Andy was right. The talent that's going into the NBA is coming from these universities. Anyway, see you guys back in Phoenix. Take care. Yeah, man, I feel like it, like when I go to a movie, I know who's starring in the movie. So, there's a level of anticipation and excitement that I take with me. I don't know who these guys are. So, I don't have that.
I'll tell you, if you want to get into college basketball, if you even want to dip your toe into the water just to take a little tester, watch. We're on the grade 8 right now. The NCAAs, it's great to watch. March Madness is awesome because you get all these players, all the excitement. This is going to be the peak of some people's careers and the beginning of others. And March Madness is amazing. But if you watch, and I did watch the Duke game. Man, thanks for this because we get to talk about this. Great game. U of A was very severely overmatched. I mean, Duke has a hell of a team. I don't know if they're going to win the whole thing, but they have it looks like an NBA team. And they're just the size and the way that they play. I mean, there's some things that aren't 100% there, but it is. And Flag is amazing. I mean, he's just, if you watch his game, he's so smooth. He's quick.
Is he reminiscent of somebody?
I don't know, man. Maybe no. Yeah, I'm sure he's reminiscent of somebody, but his style and he's a white dude who plays at Duke who has a pretty silky game. It's
no remnants of Christian Laettner.
Some people said Laettner, but I think he has a better shot. Like Laettner had a nice shot, obviously, but the way he moves to the basket first shot, the way that he can take it outside, his handles are really good for his size. Man, I got to be honest, I'm impressed, and I don't want to be impressed by him. I was mad at him, and he scored. He needed to score what he scored to beat U of A. U of A hung in tough. They got down. Duke came out and shot 100% for, I think the first 12 minutes of the second half. Didn't miss a shot. And they weren't easy shots. They were taller. They were quick, but they weren't easy shots. They weren't giving me shots. And they took it to the U of A. But the U of A came all the way back, got to within 5. Listen, they weren't going to win because of the call, but the refs, I still feel blew the call on when one of the Duke players took down one of the U of A players. They just recently on the other when that happened, and it was Arizona that did it. They got the technical. Arizona did not get the technical. They did not get the ball, and then everything kind of went further away at that point. But it was a great game, man. And if you watch that one, I think you would start looking for some of these players as they go into the NBA. But this Flag dude,
if you had NBA type potential, but you were going to go to college, what's a college coach that you would like to play for? I know some of these guys are retired now, but if you had Dean Smith, Coach K, Bobby Knight.
It's funny because I think I'm old, so I'm looking at some of the new coaches, and I think it's just different how they coach their styles. But Coach K seemed to have that old school style brought into the new, where he related to the kids and he was able to continue. I mean, you can't argue with what he was able to do at Duke and how many times they've gone to, how far they've gone in the NCAAs and how many years they've been there. He was a pretty amazing coach, and I think if you want to play with someone, integrity, played the game, just that voice is a little weird, but other than that, I think it would have been him. But he retired, so that's not even those kind of options. So I don't know who today. But, man, I like Lute Olson. I did like him because I'm from Arizona. But the best thing for your career, if you have a game, if you're white and you have a game, I don't think you could beat Duke. Duke was I don't know how, they always have so many white players. They always have this white guy. There's always a white guy on Duke that has this game.
Incidentally, I around and I submitted to it. I watched the first 4 episodes of Celtics.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
How great?
Yeah.
This is gonna be great when we talk about it.
Yeah.
Dude, how great! And when I was talking to you about, I know we'll talk about this then, but I just want to say this. What I was saying to you about, isn't this the way they should teach history to keep people interested?
Yeah, and I have a note. I'll say this one thing. Playing sports should be mandatory for human relations.
It should.
Because when you struggle with somebody, same common goal, it creates a kinship.
And understanding. And then I agree with you so much right now. I can't wait till we talk about this.
Yeah.
But I just think that that's the way that history should be taught. If nothing else, to certain groups of people. Because I'm telling you,
white people.
What?
White people.
Well,
Black and white people struggling together.
I'm talking about just people who, educationally wise, don't really get dates. I hate when you were in school and they try to teach you this happened in 19 or 18, and then they have a test. What year did this happen? I was like, I don't fucking remember what year it happened. Ask me what the conclusion was. I didn't remember dates, but when the way that they tied this into what was happening in the city, man, I was learning history, and that's what I wish they would teach like that. I wish they could make. So many people don't make learning interesting, and docs today make things really interesting. But that one in particular,
Yeah.
I cannot wait till we talk about it.
Luis Garcia, Top Gun and Homoerotica. Hello, Aries and Spears. I'm writing because I was listening to the episode about Point Break and the homoerotica themes that it could contain. This reminded me of a video I watched about Tarantino talking about Two Gun and how that movie, you meant to say Top Gun. Damn, nigga, you just wrote it in the title, man. Jesus. And how that movie is not about fighter pilots. And that's it actually about a man and his struggles with his own sexuality. The character of Tom Cruise being the protagonist and him being the one dealing with the external existential crisis, the flight fighters representing homosexuality, and even the female love interest in the movie being the heterosexual theme of the movie, even attempting to persuade Tom Cruise back to heterosexuality by dressing as a fighter pilot in the suit on the elevator scene. What's your opinion? Do you think that's true? Is there any other movies that follow the same theme? Was the era of the movie that was made a prominent way of filming at the time? And what made a woman using man's clothes erotic to a male gaze? Anyways, hopefully you watch the video and discuss. Have a great day. Love you guys and keep doing what you're doing. Dude, I didn't get that from Top Gun.
I didn't get that from Top Gun either. I know what they were talking about, but there is the volleyball scene. But
Yeah.
is that the way so that the guys can bring the girls and they can see a movie? Is that part of it? Or do girls give a shit, really?
Have you ever seen dudes on the beach playing volleyball with their shirts on?
No, but not with their jeans on either. Playing in jeans and no shirt.
Oh, right.
So it was a little weird. I don't know.
It's very. That's what that was for that time.
Yeah.
That's a time capsule moment.
But I don't think that necessarily she was dressed as a man. That's a jacket, a bomber jacket. I've seen girls wear bomber jackets before. And I'm going to say this. I don't know why I think this is sexy as but when your girl, if you have a white, when I used to have a job, I used to have to wear a shirt to work, like a dress shirt. And
The classic white shirt with no pants.
the girl just puts that on to walk around the house and get some done. While
I want you butt naked like an African woman.
that is that I don't
in
know.
the Serengeti.
She's I'm with her. We're together and she's doing other. Yeah,
Don't
I like
tease
that look,
me
man.
with some fabric.
Nah, I like it.
I like to see
That-
them titties and ass.
That's
just
sexy.
walking around
Don't
the
button
fucking
don't button it
house.
up. Just to have that on.
I'll make a woman butt naked fry me bacon just so when the grease pop up, she can jiggle.
Can I ask you? I got to ask you this question. Tattoos by titties around titties.
Yeah.
Do you like that? Do you think that's
I'll
sexy?
suck the ink off them.
Dude, I don't think titties need any extra. I don't need a frame. I don't need any ink
for the
or-
picture, right.
Yeah, just titties come so amazing. I don't need any extras around them. I think tattoos take away from.
If I get to put a titty in my mouth, I ain't complaining about,
I just
something, the packaging.
I just see girls and then you see them topless and then they have those tattoos. I'm like, waste of ink. Put the I love girls with tatted up arms. I think that looks good if it's done right. But the around the boobs, I don't need that.
Random question out of nowhere. If you could suck your own, would you?
I used to do a joke about this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you really could go from the tip to the base of the balls.
suck your own. I think when you're little, before you ever have sex, you might give it a shot.
Mark, would you?
Publicly, no. But if you just go by the theory of it, you jerk yourself off, that's kind of gay. That's like a dude jerking you off.
We didn't say whether it made you gay or not. We just asked if you would. See, that mist is all over this place again.
I would. The only reason I wouldn't do it is that I'd have to see my fucking belly.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I used to do a joke about I got a new watch, and I said, it's funny though. If you could suck your own, would you? And then I go, and if you could do it to completion, would you swallow? And if you swallow, would you feel the need to buy yourself a new watch the next day? Like jewelry the next day. You know how like women get jewelry for sucking. I was like, would you? It was an early joke, man. It was one of the first jokes. I thought it was funny. Because then I would look at somebody in the road and I go, I noticed you have a Rolex, sir. Did you buy that for yourself? Because they're usually not gifts. Dudes buy them because that's their accomplishment, so they get a Rolex, and that's unbelievable. Dudes didn't like that joke. I stopped doing it. Pew, pew, pew.
Nick Canton, Arnold Schwarzenegger R&B. What's up, Aries? It's been a minute since I wrote in. Life's kicking a nickel in the ass. In his ass. Saw this. I meant to write, but saw this. $10, lot of money. But had to share. Yeah, I think I've seen this. This one guy who does Arnold Schwarzenegger impressions. Let me see something.
I wanna please you. I wanna please you. I wanna show you, baby. I need you. I want your body.
It's good, but man, I'm telling you, after seeing Joe Gadot, man, it's hard for me to watch somebody do Arnold. He does it so goddamn perfectly.
Dude, but when you saw that video of Arnold, and he's like in his Arnoldiness right there, dude, as we get older, man,
it's sad.
Because, Arnold has to go home and he sees himself.
It's sad.
He tries to put a flex in the mirror and it's like, whoa.
Look like wet cabbage.
That's so bad. Like, it's terrible. I just can't believe
It's terrible.
This getting old sucks, dude.
It absolutely does.
And then, like, right now, as people are passing, it just reminds you that you're, like,
Upper room.
Yeah. Just around the corner.
Yeah. Oh, Joe King, Mount Rushmore. Dude, I'm not going to lie. I'm slightly hungover.
That movie did not help you.
It really didn't. It just drained me.
You know what we didn't say, though? I just want to go back to this. I know on yesterday's episode, if people are listening to this, Tarantino was actually had a nice spot in there. Like Tarantino talking about movie and the effect of black actors and how it worked. Did you like Tarantino's part in that?
At first I was wondering, why is he in it? But, yeah, I mean,
Well, he was like the only white dude in it, wasn't he?
Yeah, the only.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting. So anyway, we never even brought that up, and I thought that was odd to me when he first came in, and then I guess it made some sense.
Joe King, Mount Rushmore. Salutation, Jaw. Aries, bruv. Can't believe you're not digging my boy Luda. Your homework assignment is to listen to large amounts. The Potion, Hopeless, Child of the Night, Virgo with Nas. Throw It Up, Little Wheezy, and Bust a Bus. Both legs shaking and woozy with Kells. Come on, yo. I could go on and on. Please check out these tracks and look dead in the camera and say you're not feeling it. I can look at the camera now and tell you I ain't feeling it. Dre 3K is tight too, man. Listen to Come Back Home and him with his Dungeon Fam and Trans DF Express. Don't tell me he does nothing for you, homie. Yo, it was dope seeing you. One of my favorite comedians, rapping rhymes on my favorite rapper, Busta. Scenario is an ill track. The way you were imitating his rhyming style is precisely why he is my best. He flips me into ape mode to wild out like you did. My spirit bubbles up and explodes when that rhymes so soulfully. My hip hop Mount Rushmore would have to be Busta Rhymes, Hove, Ludacris, and I can't choose the fourth. It's got to be one out of KRS, Doggy Dogg, Meth, Redman, Eminem, Mos Def, Nas, or Pac. Until next time, fellas.
Damn, you really didn't commit though. he gave you 3 and then 6 more afterwards.
Right. Yeah, dude, Luda just doesn't do it for me, man.
I think he's great, man. I really do. I don't put him in. I'm not going to throw him on the Mount Rushmore, but I don't understand how you don't. It's still good, man.
I don't know. Just don't. I don't connect with him.
You know, like I said, I used to DJ, but then when hip hop moved into hip hop, I stopped. I did promotion, and Tim DJ'd, and there's just like when Luda songs hit, man, they blew up the floor. They're just you see that energy, that feel. So I'm looking at it from maybe a different perspective, but there's songs that just I don't know, and Luda could do that. So I don't understand why that's not yours at all.
I don't know. Maybe it's the Atlanta thing. Yeah.
But I think you take his. I know there's a regional aspect to this, and I don't want to get into that part of it. But I think that there's certain songs that go above your region that you're from. That just that doesn't make a difference where it's from. It's just like it hits.
I mean, L.A. ain't my region, but I enjoyed Pac and Snoop in his early days.
But you have to take Pac and go. But he's not from L. Well, yeah, he's from there, but I don't know, man. His style was. I don't think
his energy. I like Pac's energy.
It doesn't feel L.A.
Yeah.
So I understood that one.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I look. The genre, those it offered a lot, man, and I just think there's certain people that stand out, and he was one of them. There's a lot of good southern rappers, man.
Jordan Lamar, back to segregation. LOL, keep backing the rapist pedophile Andy. Well, that's harsh. Just like that, he erases the ban on companies having segregated establishments. Exactly like I said, all he is doing is taking us back to the 1900s and destroying all the progress we made as a country. My ancestors fought and died for equal rights, and your orange hero is destroying all of it. But hey, so glad you guys are happy trans women can play sports. Well, I never was happy about that. Matter of fact, I was one of the people that was happy that Trump is doing away with that. And neither is, where do you get pedophile Andy? But let me carry on with this nonsense.
Trump a pedophile.
Oh, but you know what it was? Keep backing the rapist pedophile. Oh, okay.
And he's just a pedophile supporter.
Oh, okay. But hey, so glad you guys travel play sports. Now, us as colored people can join in with that 1% of the population with the discrimination. Let's hear the rumble, tumble, twisting gymnastics you do now. Please run your fat mouth. And now it's a good thing that this is happening, just like he did with the DEI hires. I can't believe you actually let him get away with that, Aries, saying companies are actively looking to hire a minority instead of who's more qualified. Her regularly used dog whistle avid racists love to regurgitate. Aries, I'm not going to pretend like I know you, but from every episode of the pod I listen to, I know your heart's in the right place. Your co-host isn't. This isn't about difference of opinions. This is right versus wrong, and Jew-boy is dead wrong. He may not be racist, but he's starting to sound like a supremacist to me. I'm going to tell you again, watch out. Sincerely, the clown. Well.
Oh, there you go. Watch out. I got nothing because I didn't.
Well, again, you've kind of roundabout addressed this, but
yeah.
If it boils down to what he said, right versus wrong, moral versus immoral, you've decided to pick policy over that.
I decided that some of the policy, I don't like the messenger. I do that joke about he's the worst. He is the worst messenger. And I haven't even said it this week, but I forgot to. I even forgot to throw that part in because he's the worst. He recognizes that our schools need help. I think that there is some recognition because you look at the numbers and we have gone down test scores over the whole world. We're one for a developed country. We're one of the lowest. But Trump doesn't say, "Hey, man, we need to come together. We need to figure out how to educate our students better. We need to bring them up. We need to be able to compete on a more on a worldwide stage." No, this what he would say was, the students are dumb. They don't know what they're doing. The education is terrible. We have the worst. That's not the way to motivate people. That's not the way to get people to move forward. So I do understand I understand when.
Well, it maybe is because, more than half the country felt motivated to go to the polls and pick him.
Yeah, but I just wish he could be someone that would say the other way. Say it the way that brings people together. This guy, for whatever reason, can't bring anyone together. I would like to go to one of his birthday parties. I'm sure there's not a lot of people and there's a lot of extra cake. That's it. I don't know what else to say about it, but the policy that I didn't understand what he was saying about the trans because they're not going to be. Is that what he? Mark, did you decipher that?
I think he was, or she, I don't know, was just saying how could you be, so for minorities, this one that's like the 1% of the population, they're obviously a minority. How can you not stick up with them?
Because I don't understand it.
That's because you don't agree with the premise.
Yeah.
Of course, if it was that black and white, but in your head or everyone else's head.
No, it's not that. It's. I know that there's some people that are going to have to live in that space. That's just the way it is, and that's where some people are going to live. But I think that here's the way that I said it. Yes, it might only be 1%, but if all of a sudden in a high school age,
maybe we can make it 0%.
Well, in a high school age locker room, that a biological male now saying that they're a woman gets to go into that locker room, and they don't tell. Other women have come out and said they don't tell us. They don't give us a choice. Take it to an early college level. I don't know what's happened to these women in their lives. I don't know if I'm infringing on them. Because I don't know, you don't know what's happened to them, and if they want a male in their that they want. Let's put it this way: let's just get rid of male and female in this. I don't know if they want to in the same locker room that their vaginas are in. Because now I took away from the idea of what trans is, what our pronouns, all that stuff. It's just I don't know that vaginas want in their locker room because maybe a was very aggressive to them at one time and has put them in a place that is actually feels violent to them. Is that ever considered?
I think we just refer to men and women as vaginas.
Maybe it was aggressive to them. Oh, that's funny.
Well, but I'm saying we don't know what's happened to these women, and the mandate is, well, they think since they feel like they're women, and even though that they have some balls, that they're allowed to be in that space. But what about the person that has their own problem with that? And this space is a woman's space. That I'm not. Listen, I don't want to hurt anybody that has this. I think that if you're living in the wrong suit, if you feel like you were born in the wrong suit, your life is hard. I don't want to make your life harder, but I'm not going to make someone else's life harder for that 1% either.
I think we need a third locker room.
I think so.
Where you throw the trans people and the fat people who are too afraid to take off their shirts in front of all other people. All the freaks we just throw in this other locker room.
It's not another locker room. It's private changing rooms for certain groups of people that's in the middle, and they have their own showers. That's fine with me.
I like how you just combine trans and fat people that are afraid to take off.
They're all people uncomfortable in the locker room. If you get uncomfortable in the locker room, go there.
What if you just have, really bad feet? Can you use that same locker room?
Or if, you don't have boxers, just whitey tighties, and you think people are going to make fun of you.
Whitey tighties?
Go with
Okay. He's dyslexic, too.
Nate Oliver. Mark gets no love. Alfred, and he puts in parentheses, Mark is getting his feet wet in the starting lineup. So I understand why Andy treats him like those broken chicken bones that Aries don't with.
I'm like Ronnie James.
When will that other Genuous get some airtime? Not you, Aries, or my neglistic Professor Andy. I'm talking about the meat and potatoes of the podcast, Steve. I really enjoy the chemistry and the laughs. Steve is the man behind the curtain.
He's got we got him in on a few, and he's played his music on a few. Dude, when just knowing Steve as long as I have, and the first time I heard it out of his mouth, I was taken back. This is not who I know.
Right.
He's good at it though. Maybe when we're in Arizona, we should have Steve.
Has it been a full year with you?
No.
Been on the podcast?
Yeah. No. I mean, doing this.
No, it's been 2 years.
No, but you weren't on. You didn't travel every week, though.
No, yeah.
Yeah, like a full year of.
Probably like full, because we did take a break for. No, it's only been like 4 months.
Yeah. Oh wow. But when next time we're in Arizona, maybe we should throw Steve on if he's around, because Steve has his own agenda. He's a rock star. However you do that. But yeah, it would be good to have him on. It would be good to have a face on there.
Cameron Palmer, Mark News segment. Hey guys, I am attaching the document that Mark failed to find. It is a copy of rape allegations of the 13-year-old girl. See file attached. What conversation were we having?
About
Like Katie Johnson?
that's her alias, though, right?
I'm not sure.
That's not her real name.
Yeah, it's probably not her. Yeah, she was.
Yeah. It's not been.
Call me out and back me up at the same time. I like this guy.
Yeah, well, but it's not proven. I'm not going there on this podcast.
She was getting death threats.
I don't want to have any problems because of that.
Didn't recently Casey Anthony get an Instagram or something? She joined social media.
She came back. She's trying to revive. But why would you come back? Because if you're never famous, if that's what you're famous for,
why would you want to
come back? Why don't you stay?
Man, she didn't open up a daycare.
It's called SIDS.
What's SID stand for?
SIDS is where babies that die in their sleep.
Sudden
Infant death syndrome.
death syndrome.
Yeah.
You almost back all the way out of that one.
Well, she was going to open one.
Yeah, TikTok.
She did TikTok.
Yeah.
Did she? I mean, she was found not guilty, but did she do it?
I think, didn't she say she did it, but she was not mentally capable or something like that? I don't know.
Was she guilty?
There comes a time when your kids get on your nerves and you just can't hack it anymore. So you duct tape them, you stick them in the trunk, then you drive it off the nearest pier so they'll be gone.
She was acquitted of all her major charges, and she was convicted only on 4 misdemeanor counts of lying to police. Sentenced to 4 years.
Oh, so she did do time.
But what do you mean? All her other stuff she didn't do is what they're saying? She was not guilty of, or she did it, but
it's so weird because you think. Oh, this was the one where she did the chloroform, right?
I don't know.
Oh, there were Google searches on her and neck breaking on her computer, but if you ask me, that's just a good time.
This fucking guy.
Yeah, I think there was like hair from the kid like in her car, like that. I don't know.
I thought she was. I know someone drove a car into the ocean or something, or into the lake.
With their kids? That was the other lady.
That's why I'm confusing them.
Yeah, that originally said that a black man Steve Harvey had such a great joke on that about the lady that said a black man carjacked her with the 2 black kids with the 2 kids in the back. And he said, we knew that was a lie because a black man don't even want his own damn kids, let alone 2 white kids. Anubis 7 King, Man Food Movie. What's up, A&A? Also, hello to y'all, number 3. Anyway, here's a Man Food movie. It's called The Tournament. Has Ving Rhames in it. Check it out. I think Andy would like it more, and then he gives the emoji.
That's
heard of it?
No. Yeah. The Tournament, Ving Rhames.
Why isn't he brought up enough in the lexicon of great black actors?
Is he a great black actor?
He's not.
I'm just asking, is he?
Well,
I'm throwing it to you.
Listen, he was great in Baby Boy. He was great in Pulp Fiction, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was great in Rosewood. Yeah.
So do you put him up there with with?
I think his name should be mentioned.
I think his look is so specific.
I'm telling you, if they ever make the live action Thundercats, he is Panthro. Panthro. Is it Panthro or Panthro? Panthro.
But that's him.
Yeah.
He's a very specific look.
Where is that live action movie, man? How has that not been made?
Dude, you used to do that.
Thundercats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did you stop doing that?
Just
Old and done with
yeah.
it. But that's so funny out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You should throw that in every now.
Thundercats. Ho!
You should throw that in there every now and then.
My cast would be The Rock as Lion-O, Ving Rhames as Panthro, Angelina Jolie as Chitara. I want to say Brad Pitt as Tigra, or Matthew McConaughey as Tigra, and Kevin Hart as Snarf.
Okay. You better get Rock soon though, because Rock isn't aging like. He's not as smooth as he used to look.
I mean, but he still looks pretty.
He looks pretty good, but he's.
You remember Thundercats? No, right?
No Thundercats for me.
Pull it up.
Yeah, boy.
How's the cartoon?
You didn't come up in the right age, baby. These kids, these cartoons today
Yeah.
are horrible.
It was my brother's show, Thundercats. He
They're
liked
they're
watching
what you call. They're made so that they're for both sexes.
it. Yeah, because everything's inclusive.
Yeah, back then we had cartoons specifically designed for us. And I told you, Thundercats, Bionic 6, Silverhawks. Come on, man.
We got Rugrats.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my brother, that was his show. I was already too old for it. I didn't get Thundercats.
Thundercats are on the boom. Thundercats are loose. Did it? Thundercats. Oh, that was dope.
That shit was so like everybody who grew up with it just can't. They have all those little tunes though in their head. You can't get rid of.
Great, man. With your go-to bowl of cereal on Saturday morning. Come on.
They don't have a video at all.
Thundercats?
Yeah,
Yeah, go to YouTube.
you're off today. Did you drink last night?
Nah, he came back to the hotel with you.
Yeah. I don't know what he does after he gets here. There it is.
Here's the opener.
Is there sound?
Oh, yeah.
The f is wrong with you, man?
Told you.
And you're missing the best parts. This guy. Yes. Ho! Thunder. Thunder. Come on. I forgot about the two twins. Thundercats are loose. Did it! Hear the roar. Thundercats are loose. The thunder, thunder. And then that guitar would come in.
Be careful. The way you said loose, you sound a little misty.
Hey, man, I'm in my... That ain't no shame here. Mumra. Come on, this screams live action.
You know, really. Why don't you try buying it instead of you telling someone else to do it?
Thundercats. That's when boys were boys.
Was that was a Saturday morning?
Was it Saturday mornings? I don't know. I don't know. Either or, I had a bowl of cereal.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't have cartoons were Saturday mornings. I don't know why they didn't put them on Sunday mornings because kids would have got up early enough, woke up their parents, and then they would have all went to church.
Church and shit.
Yeah, but they would have woke up the parents. My dad hated Saturday morning because he was always trying to sleep, and I'd get up at 6.
Bionic 6. Ooh, ooh. Something, dum, 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 dum. The family. Bionic 6.
See, you had better than I
Come
did.
on,
I had
man.
Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, Scooby-Doo was like for boys and girls.
Scooby-Doo, I had, we had, what was the...
A futuristic family. Bionic 6. Oh, that was the
Who was the... Which,
Silverhawks. Tally ho!
I did it. We had Kung Fu. I had Kung Fu-y.
What was the cartoon
Captain
with the
Caveman?
white boy with the Indian friend?
That's what I was trying to remember right now while I was sitting here. That was...
I was gonna say Richie Rich. But
it was
no.
Haji was the name. Wasn't his name Haji?
I believe their name was Haji.
Yeah.
But he didn't talk with the Indian accent.
No. His name... What was it? Because I like that one. Johnny Quest.
Johnny Quest. That was it? With the Indian? Yeah.
I like that one. That was the...
Dude, was it racist? Some people are saying now, because, you know, the woke that Speedy Gonzalez was racist.
See-
because he had that friend, too, that, you know, the magazine, he
Slow,
talk was
slow poke. Slow...
Yeah.
is that-
Was that, is that?
Dude, you know what? As someone, like, honestly, living in a Mexican household with my mom, I was just happy we had some kind of representation on TV.
Even though it was stereotypical.
You know, he was fast. He was cool.
But Mexicans aren't known to be fast.
He was fast. I was happy that he was fast. He was Speedy
Oh.
Gonzalez. You know,
Right.
he was. It was a cool character. They took off. I remember being as a kid when they got rid of the Frito Bandito from Fritos. Fritos used to have this thing called the Frito Bandito.
The Frito, the chips?
And their logo was the Frito Bandito. You know, like they have Chester Cheeto.
Yeah.
They had Frito Bandito. And they were like, I don't know who complained.
Right.
I don't know who complained. I don't know who rang whose bell and said no. This, but it was something that, like, I'm not saying it was our culture, but it was something that, you know, being just mentioned, and you know, when you're not mentioned at all.
Right.
So yeah, it had a relationship to the culture, even if it wasn't our specific culture. Even if it was they made a cartoon version of us.
You guys don't get up as upset about these things that black people get upset about.
No,
Yeah.
no, they really don't.
Like the racist crows in Dumbo. I just learned how to fly. So is. What about you there?
You know what? But I think because it happened. Blacks got it over and over and
You know what I mean?
over again.
And see, that's why sometimes when I hear, especially Latino people, say to black people, oh, the victim card. And they're so dismissive when it's like, yo, you didn't have to go through that.
But we didn't
So
get
it's
any.
easy
But we
for
didn't
you
get
to-
anything though.
Okay, but damn, be upset about that at least, no?
It's, you know, I just.
Were people thought the crows were racist, like, or is that like just a recent thing, or like
No,
was that like
that's-
30 years, 40 years ago?
Do you understand what the crows are what they're mimicking?
The black crows are mimicking
Yeah.
black folks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shucking and jiving, right?
Yeah. Ooh,
I can say that, right?
you're 34. You ain't supposed to know shucking and jiving.
Yeah, but it's just the way that whole in the whole what's the song the black dude's whistling when he comes walking out in the Disney movie?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Right.
It's just, it was a characterization on the lowest level that they could find. Like when I see Speedy Gonzalez, okay, so it's a mouse. Let's start right there. It's a mouse, and that's a low level. You know, it's a lower level. It's a rodent.
Okay.
So that's on a lower level. But he was fast. He was kind of cool. He was Speedy Gonzalez. He had some swag. They didn't have swag back then, but he had some.
Yeah.
You know, so I wasn't offended by it. As a matter of fact, I almost bought a Speedy Gonzalez baseball hat the other day.
Really?
Yeah, and you know which one's the slow mo or slow po, whatever they called it. I think whatever his name was. That one was sold out. People bought that one. I don't think that we were aggravated because we were mentioned.
Yeah.
And not getting mentioned. You know, I'm not gonna go deep on this because I don't want to go back to like arguing about it because it's not, to me it's not the argument, it's about the understanding. But you know, we could say no one wants to make a Mexican film. But I give you this though. On the other hand, Mexico and the country that's right below us, Mexico, has their own culture and their own independent thing, their own movies, their own. So maybe that's why it doesn't feel as affected, because it does have a connection.
Yeah.
Black Americans don't have a connection. It's not like you're going to go pull up an African station and go, "Oh, that's us." That isn't you. You're American, and yet you're not included. There is some inclusion because we were connected in language and in the people, in just it's the country right underneath us.
When I went and did that tour with Earthquake and Godfrey in South Africa, man, 5 minutes of African TV. I was like, man, I want to go home. I was like, man, I'm over this.
But I do mean that though. You know, the Mexican community can turn on a number of channels from a number of different countries and feels a different kind of connection.
Right.
Black Americans are Americans. They speak English. They're not connected that way.
We are not connected to you. There's no connection yet.
And you also have Africans actually saying that to you too.
We don't like you people. Just because you are black, we don't associate with you. Come on.
So maybe that's the difference. Maybe that has the reason why it has that, you know, we're not as offended.
Were Indians offended by a poo ever? Or, because I feel like that was just like white people.
I feel like sometimes other minorities want white acceptance so bad that they don't ever want to be offended when they should be.
Well, do you think a poo was something to be offended by?
The Indian dude in the cartoon?
Yeah.
No.
No, neither do I.
But he didn't have the accent. But if they would have gave him the accent, why would that be offensive? Do you not talk with the accent?
But he did have the accent.
No, he didn't talk like that.
He didn't have that accent.
Vat, he didn't say vat. When he meant to say, he didn't say vetting. What are you doing? I'm going to an Indian wedding. How can pussies just get wet with that?
Because that's the sound they're looking for. That rings in their ear.
Maybe because of the vibration, if you put your lips right near the lips and you just keep going, vat, vat, vat.
Say,
No. Okay, no. Apu. I'm thinking Johnny Quest, that Indian.
oh, that one, no. But he has it. But
and-
his
and-
isn't dramatic like
And
the
that's
way
a
you
white
do it.
dude doing it.
But does that offend you?
It's a cartoon. You can't see him.
Does it offend you that the black dude was a white dude?
Nah.
No, it wasn't. It was Hank Azaria, right?
No,
Oh.
it wasn't Hank Azaria.
He's not doing a poo?
No,
Yeah,
he's
that's
doing a
Hank
poo.
Azaria.
Oh, okay.
I would say he wasn't doing the black dude, which is
Like Cleveland.
Cleveland, yeah, he wasn't doing him.
Matter of fact, I wish Cleveland sounded more niggerish. Yeah, what's that? What's the bad? Yo, Peter, what's up, Peter?
What did he had like a?
Peter. You know, he sounds Peter.
What did they had like a? If he brought up his like very southern, that has that draw.
Who, Cleveland?
Yeah, would he'll come visit them in where's it, Springfield?
But that's not, Springfield's not Southern.
No, I said, but what if he had like his cousin come up
Oh.
with that, and then they still had that white dude do that voice?
Dude, there's a dude on social media. His thing is about always frying up shit. And he has like these huge rectangular long fryers. And he just turns the wheel. And you could put like 1,000 pieces of chicken on it. And he could just fry them all up at once. And he's from the South. And he just constantly goes, now we about to dip this chicken. Look at that chicken right there. Boy, that look good right there. Look at that golden skin right there. Look at that right there. He just keeps saying right there. And I'm just like, oh, God, that's another one. How did the stay wet with that?
That's a show, man. We got to go do a. We got to go.
Look at that. He take his out. Look at that right there.
We got to go
Girl, I
talk.
know you want that right there. That's some incredible right there. You gonna suck that thing right there? Right there. Nigga, it's there. Not there.
So, when he has it in there, is he saying, "Can you feel that?
Can you feel that right there? You feel that right there. That's that when it's in your stomach right there.
All right, April 4th through the 6th, we're at the San Jose Improv. April 11th.
We gonna be
13th. We're at the. Oh, here, do it for this one. April 11th to the 13th. We're at the Cleveland, Ohio Funny.
We
Bone.
gonna be right there, right in there, Cleveland, right there.
April 18th to the 20th, Columbus Funny Bone. April 25th to the 26th, we're at the Funny Bone in Syracuse. I won't be, Aries will be. May 2nd to the 3rd, Toledo Funny Bone. I like Toledo. May 8th through the 10th, Magoobies in Timonium.
Have you ever been to that, what do they call it? Like that hibachi restaurant next door to Toledo Improv Funny Bone?
No, I've never been to the hibachi restaurant. There's a breakfast place I've been going to when I go out there.
Yeah, you got to go there. I mean, it's like, what do they call a hibachi? Benihana's. It's like Benihana's. It's not Benihana's, but it's like Benihana's.
So a bunch of people at the table smelling like.
You don't like that?
I don't like that we all smell like that when we leave. Like if you want to go out afterwards, you smell like the restaurant. Oh. I like that's the destination and the end of the evening after you're done eating there for me. But then you go back home and you're throwing it in there, and you both smell like hibachi.
What's that smell right there? My smell like hibachi meat. Right.
That's a show.
Spears and Steinberg.
Thanks for listening to the Spears and Steinberg podcast. For more information on where to find us on the internet, visit spearsburgpod.com.